Namaskar students. In this video, we will talk about beta and gamma functions. Beta and gamma function are the special functions which are defined with the help of definite integral. First of all, we will be discussing the definition of gamma function, and after that, we will be discussing the definition of beta function. If n is positive, then the gamma function of n is denoted by this one. This is the notation for gamma of n. It is given by definite integral. We will be integrating e raised to power minus x is to power n minus 1 with respect to x within the limits 0 to infinity. So the integrand is e raised to power minus x is to power n minus 1. We will be integrating it with respect to x within the limit 0 to infinity. This gamma function is not defined for the negative integers. We cannot find out the gamma of minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 because in that case, this definite integral will not exist. It will not be defined. Now let us discuss the definition of beta function. The beta function of m and n, the notation for the beta function of m and n is this one. This is beta of m and n. It is again given by the definite integral. For evaluating this beta function, we will be integrating x is to power m minus 1 minus x is to power n minus 1 with respect to x within the limits 0 to 1. So this is the definition of beta function. Here, m is greater than 0 and n is also greater than 0. So these are two special functions which we will be discussing in this video. Now let us discuss the properties of these two functions. Properties of beta and gamma function. These properties are important because it will be used for solving problems, for solving some integrals. So let us discuss these properties one by one. So the first property is the reduction property and it is for gamma function. The property is that if we are finding gamma of n plus 1, then the gamma of n plus 1 is n gamma n. And this property can be proved very easily with the help of integration. We will be considering the left hand side. We will be finding gamma of n plus 1 using the definition of gamma function, using the formula which we have discussed for the gamma function. And once we will be integrating it by parts, after integrating it once with respect to x, by using the formula which we have discussed right now, we will be able to prove this result. So we can easily prove this result, this reduction property, with the help of integration. The second property is the symmetry property, and this symmetric property is for beta function. If we are finding the beta of m and n, then this will be same as the beta of n and m. This property can also be proved easily with the help of integration. With the help of suitable substitution, we can prove this result. We will be considering left hand side. We will be writing the expression for beta of mn by using the definition of beta function. In that definition, we will be using some substitution, and after using suitable substitution, we will be able to prove that it will be same as beta of n and m. The third property It's very important property. It is used in many problems where we get gamma of 1 by 2. So what is this one? That gamma of 1 by 2 is square root of pi. It is given by under root pi. And now see, if we have to find out the gamma of 3 by 2, for finding the gamma of 3 by 2, we will be using the two properties, the first one and the third one. So first one, we will be using the reduction property. By the reduction property, how we can write down this gamma of 3 by 2? It will become 1 by 2 gamma of 1 by 2. And by this third property, we know that the gamma of 1 by 2 is under root pi. So it will become under root pi by 2. So in this way, by using these two properties, property 1 and property 3, we have evaluated here gamma of 3 by 2, and it is coming as square root pi divided by 2. The fourth property gives the relation between beta and gamma function. The property is, if we are finding beta of mn, we can relate this with the gamma function, and beta of mn is same as gamma of m multiplied with gamma of n, and this whole divided by gamma of m plus n. So this is the relation between beta and gamma function. On the left hand side, we have beta function, and on the right hand side, we have gamma function. It's a very important result. It's a relation between beta and gamma function. And gamma function. Continuing this, the next property, an important integral. The integrand is here sin x raised to power p cos x raised to power q. We are integrating it with respect to x within the limit 0 to pi by 2. And this integral can be written as gamma of p plus 1 by 2 gamma of q plus 1 by 2, this whole divided by 2 times gamma of p plus q plus 2 divided by 2. This is gamma of p plus q plus 2 divided by 2. So if we need to find this integral in which we have some powers of sin x and cos x in our integrand, and the limits are from 0 to pi by 2, then by using this right hand side, we can easily evaluate this integral. Now the next property is, it has the special name gamma duplication formula. This is known as gamma duplication formula. What is the result here? If we are finding the gamma of 2m, it is equal to 2 raised to power 2m minus 1 gamma of m gamma of m plus 1 by 2, and is divided by square root of pi. This is known as gamma duplication formula. Why we are calling it as duplication? Because you can see here on the left hand side we have 2m, and on the right hand side we have m. Gamma of 2m on the left hand side, and here we have gamma of m on the right hand side. So all these properties, if I talk about this third, then this fourth, fifth, sixth properties, these are very important because these will be used while doing the problems based on beta and gamma function. And we will be discussing the proofs of these properties also, that how we can establish this relation between beta and gamma function, how we can prove this result about the integral, how we can prove this gamma duplication formula. We have some more results for beta and gamma functions. Let us discuss them. So if I name it as seventh property, we can write beta of P and Q. We have another form for beta function also, and that form is, if we integrate y raised to power q minus 1 is divided by, whole divided by 1 plus y raised to power p plus q. If we integrate this one with respect to y within the limits are from 0 to infinity. They are not 0 to 1 as we were having in the definition of beta function. Now the limits are from 0 to infinity. So if we will be evaluating this integral, we will be getting the beta of p and q. So you can say that this is the another way of writing the beta of p and q. The next one, if we find the product of gamma n and gamma of 1 minus n, then this product is pi upon sine n pi. So these are the 8 properties which we'll be using while solving the questions based on beta and gamma function. And second thing is that we should be able to prove all these 8 properties. So in this video, we will be taking some problems, and in the another video, we will be discussing the proofs of some of these properties. So let us take one problem. Here we have to evaluate the integral, not evaluate, we have to prove the result. Prove that this definite integral is equal to 1 upon 9 gamma of 1 by 3. So what we have to do, we have to prove here that this definite integral gives us 1 upon 9 gamma of 1 by 3. This is the notation of gamma. So how we can prove this result? If you will see the integrand, this integrand involves the exponential term. We have e raised to power minus x cube, and the limits are also the same which we have in our definition of gamma function. If I write down the formula which we have for the gamma function, or the definition of gamma function, what we have discussed, that the gamma of n is given by this definite integral 0 to infinity. We will be integrating e raised to power minus x raised to power n minus 1, this one. This is the definition of gamma function. Now if you will compare these two integrals, what is the difference here? Here we have e raised to power minus x, but here we have e raised to power minus x cube. So to relate these two things, we have to make some substitution, some suitable substitution, so that we can related to the formula of gamma function. So what substitution we will be using here? Yes, it's very clear that if we consider here x cube as some new variable, say t, then it will be very easy for us to reduce it to the definition of gamma function. So consider the left hand side. Consider this integral which is present on the left hand side. Now let us assume here x cube as t. This will give us, let us find out the relation between dx and dt. This will be the relation between dx and dt. And with the help of this substitution, let us convert this integral which is present on the left hand side in terms of t. This is the given integral, which is the left hand side of the result, which we have to prove. What will be the new limits after this substitution? Here t is equal to x cube. So if x is 0, t will be 0, and if x is infinity, t will be infinity. So there will be no change in the limits. The limits will be same for the t, 0 to infinity. X cube will be t e raised to power minus x cube. It will become minus t. And what is dx? Dx is dt upon 3 x square. And what is x square? X square will be t raised to power 2 by 3. Because we have converted everything in t, so we will be writing this also in the terms of t. So dx will be dt upon 3 t raised to power 2 by 3. Now we will be solving this. We will be writing it in the proper form by considering this t raised to power 1 and this t raised to power 2 by 3, which is present in the denominator. So if we simplify it further, it will be 1 upon 3. The limits are from 0 to infinity. We have e raised to power minus t, and it will become, it will simplify to 1 by 3 dt. Now, again, compare it with the definition of gamma function. This is the definition of gamma function. Now, we have the limit same, 0 to infinity. We have e raised to power minus t, and here we have t raised to power 1 by 3. But if you will see what is here, we have n minus 1. So let us find out that what is n here. So we get, right on the left hand side. Left hand side is this integral x cube e raised to power minus x cube dx. And what we have here, this is 1 upon 3, 0 to infinity, e raised to power minus t. It is in proper form, e raised to power minus t, and t raised to power 1 by 3. So we need n minus 1. So let us add 1 and subtract 1, and this is dt. So what is this? 1 by 3. This is 0 to infinity, e raised to power minus t, t raised to power 4 by 3 minus 1 dt. Now it has been reduced to the definition of gamma function, and we can write it as, this is 1 by 3, and by the definition of gamma function, it is gamma of 4 by 3. Now, we will be using here the reduction property, 1 by 3. It will be 4 by 3 minus 1. We are using which property? The first property, reduction property. 4 upon 3, gamma of 4 upon 3 minus 1. And we will get 1 upon 9, gamma of 1 by 3. And this is the same thing which we have to prove, 1 by 9, gamma of 1 by 3. 1 by 9, gamma of 1 by 3. So the important thing is here, first is to identify that whether beta function will be used or the gamma function will be used. So see the definite integral carefully, since here it was containing e. So we tried with the gamma function, then we identified that how we can reduce it to the definition of gamma function. And for reducing it to the definition of gamma function, we have used here suitable substitution, and we have proved our result.